Today, I'll be showing how to play as Final Form Ichigo and explaining reasons as to why he is used so much in the speedrun as of right now. First, why is Final Form used so much in the speedrun? The reason that he is used for 13 out of the 28 missions so far is one reason mostly. His ultimate, the Final Gesuga Tenjo. As you would expect, it will do the most damage out of all ultimates in the game, but the amount is insanely high compared to second place in just raw numbers. Now, the numbers I'm going to say are going to sound foreign on their own, so here is an example. Soifon, being second place in terms of damage, her ultimate does 7,020 damage. You might be thinking, okay, so his Muget's like 7,500? 8,000? No, it is in fact 9,800 damage. It is 2,780 damage more than second place. That is an insane number. It is able to one-shot every single boss, to my knowledge, in the mission mode. Just to put in perspective, that is 2 ultimates from Bankai Ichigo. Now, of course, there is a drawback. If fired, you'll be left nearly dead, if not completely. It is in fact the slowest ult in the game, taking 14 seconds until you can move again. And if the ignition animation is added on top of that, that being 3 seconds, so 17 seconds in total. That seems slow, until you realize the missions he used in, besides mission 7, 2, and 6, there were 2 or more bosses in the boss fight. So it one-shot on all 2 to 4 bosses. That means any other characters that would want to compete would have to kill 2 to 4 bosses faster than 17 seconds. You see why he's used so much? Most of the luck used in past speedruns of hoping Hollybell's air circle would hit more than one person, hoping Byakuya's combo would hit more than one person, hoping Stark's thing would hit more than one person. It's completely removed. Of course, very few missions, being 27, 25, 21, and 11, need you to line up your shot. Now, his ultimate isn't the only thing that he's good for. In fact, his whole kit is extremely good, besides its air O. His dash speed is a standard speed, being about middle of the road, with a decent turning speed. Now, let's talk about his attacks. His square attacks are decent, but not good. His triangle special is where it gets good. It's a wide arcing slash of air that deals 86 damage for each slash and can pierce enemies. It takes a third of your spirit bar to use one, and of course all 3 taking 1 bar. It can be performed in both air and on the ground. It one-shots all trash mobs like Soul Reapers, Small Hollow Fodder, and Fish Hollow, all the small guys. And it's able to 3-shot officers and the giant hollows. Now, there is a tech used that I have explained before, but will explain again. The Spirit Cancel tech. In the skill tree, there are a few upgrades that allow you to cancel your attacks with a different attack. The one we're interested in is the one that allows you to cancel your triangle attacks with your square attacks, and vice versa, allowing you to cancel his 1 or so second cooldown in between his triangle attack, and to cancel that cancel with more triangles. You see where I'm going? This loop is extremely fast in disposing of mobs and can reliably and quickly kill bosses. Now his arrow is simple and not so good. It takes 3 spirit bars to use, and I would recommend to just forget it exists, but if you're interested. His slashes deal 49 damage each for 19 times, if mashed fully, then a final hit for 735 damage, being in total, when added up, 1,666 damage. This is a good bit of damage for a special move, but the issue is he's standing completely still, which is not good for a speedrun. You're not allowed to move, and the enemies you are hitting will move up until they only get hit by every other slash. You might get lucky but this would greatly reduce the damage dealt. His ground O, on the other hand, is fantastic. It's a dash forward, good for speedruns, that takes 3 spirit bars to use, and hits for a whopping 1,960 damage. It's all in one hit too, so it's delivered at once. Unlike his air O, it's great for charging your ignition, which we will speak about now. Your ignition bar, the chained up looking bar to the left of your screen, fills up a certain amount after each attack that lands, needing a total of 1,000 charges to be fully charged. Your square attacks each charge the bar by 20 charges for each hit, and the final hit charging for 40. Your triangles charge it for 10 each. Your arrow charging it for 6 per hit. Now his best one is his ground O, bringing in a total of 110 charges. Now if you're good at math, you'll note that technically your arrow can charge at 120, but as stated, you're standing completely still. You're only hit like 12 hits or so, not all 20. Now, if you charge your square attacks by holding the square button down, you charge the ignition bar at double speed. So instead of 20 charges per hit, it will be 40. And of course, 80 for finishing attacks. But you will have to charge for the hit. Once you reach your full bar, you can activate your ignition mode. Each character gets a boost when in it. The final form is a simple 1.45 times damage. So your ground O, while in ignition, deals a total of 2,842 damage. You're able to 2-tap officers with your triangle special in your ignition state. It also unlocks the ability to use your ultimate. Your ignition will keep dropping slowly over time, but you won't even notice once you start getting in the groove. Final things to note, there is a glitch with his Mugens that is harmful for you. For every other character, you're able to just about instantly use your ult on the bosses as soon as you spawn into the room. But for Final Form, if you were to do this, your ult will sometimes do 0 damage to a boss. That chance, of course, being between all 4 bosses, 2 to 4 bosses, which would raise the chance of it dealing 0 to the boss. So, it's not worth the risk. It's why if you watch the speedrun, re-hold the ignition bar and don't activate it until we enter the room, then we activate it, and that 3-second animation is a perfect amount of time to allow for your ultimate to do its full, whopping 9,800 damage. That should wrap up just about everything for the character to know. His ultimate is hands down the best in the game, even with how slow it is. And he's pretty good mob fighting character. All around, I would say Ichigo is easily one of, if not the best character in this game. Easy S tier material.